Good morning, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's vlog. Today is going to be very exciting because I ordered new bookshelves yesterday. I got a notification this morning that they were ready for us to pick them up at IKEA, so we're gonna go pick them up in a little bit. We're gonna put them together, we're gonna organize my bookshelves, and then at the very end we will do a bookshelf tour. I am so excited. Let's go get these bookshelves. Putting my deadlifts in.
Well, the deadlifts are supposed to go heavy.
These are pretty heavy. This is broken.
Thank you, bye.
It's broken.
It's so white.
Oh. Don't forget to send that one back.
Okay, hello guys, quick update. I am unfortunately back in the car, headed back to IKEA because one of the boxes we got home, we opened it up and the piece on the top was already cracked in the middle and the corner was broken. So I'm gonna take it back to the store. I'm gonna see if they'll get me a replacement. We don't really have a way of knowing when it was damaged, so I don't know if they'll actually replace it for me, but I'm hoping that they will, especially considering we just picked it up this morning. So fingers crossed. We're headed back to IKEA, gonna see if we can get a replacement for that piece. Justin, my husband, is staying home and he's gonna work on putting together what he can do by himself while I'm gone. Thankfully, the piece that is broken is just one of the extension shelves, so he can do like a lot of the rest of the bookshelf without needing that piece. So hopefully we'll get it replaced. It'll be nice and easy, and when I get home we'll be able to finish putting the bookshelf together. Okay, hello guys. It is much later in the day. It's a little after 7 and we took a bit of a break and went to church this afternoon, and now we are back. The shelves are all put together. I got a little overexcited and started putting books on them, and then I was like, oh, I forgot that I'm vlogging. I need to sit down and vlog and also film putting books on the shelves because that's what a vlog is. So this is just my little check-in. It was pretty easy putting it all together. Like you guys saw, I did end up being able to swap out the piece that was damaged. They were so kind at the IKEA and they gave me a full refund, and so I bought a new one, and that one was perfectly fine, no damage, anything like that. So I'm very happy about that, because I was a little stressed out that it came broken. But we got it all put together. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I say that fully knowing that I did this much of the work and Justin did most of the work. He built all the big ones. I built like the toppers, and then he put them together and mounted them to the wall. So really I did very minimal work. I handed him tools when he needed tools. I built the little ones, but he very much did the bulk of it, which I'm very thankful for. But now I get to organize them and figure out where I want everything. I don't really know yet where I want everything, and I know it's gonna change as I'm gonna put everything on the shelves now, and then I'm definitely gonna change where I want things, because that's just how it goes until they're right. But I'll just update you guys as we go along. I'm really just gonna start by putting everything on the shelves so I can see like how much space they actually take up. I'll try to organize them like a little bit on my first run, but I'm very prepared to change pretty much everything about where all the books are once I see them on the shelves. So I'm not going to be like too specific about where I'm putting them right now. I'm just going to focus on getting them on the shelves, and then I'll figure out exactly how I want them to be organized. So let's go do that. It is the next day. I am obsessed with these shelves. I've been staring at them since we put them up. Last night I started to put all the books on my shelves like you guys saw, and I ran out of storage, so I did not get really any of it on camera, which I'm so annoyed about. I did go ahead and organize them kind of by genre, and I'm still kind of messing around with like exactly where I want things. So I probably won't do our full bookshelf tour just yet, because there is just a little bit more organization that I want to be able to do. But I have been enjoying them so much, even just for the last like 15 hours since they've been up. I want to talk a little bit about like what the shelves are, where I got them, the like process, and like the color choice and everything. So I knew when we moved into this apartment, which was at this point like 6 months ago, I knew that I wanted new shelves. I had been using the same bookshelves that I was using when I was like 12, 13, I think is when I got that set of bookshelves, and they were really nice and they lasted a really long time. They were cube shelves and they were black, and they were also just like really beat up, and I mean old. They're like 12 years old. I knew when we moved, like one of the things I really wanted to get new shelves. So that was on my list, but I'd been waiting for like the perfect ones and the perfect time, and I picked out, I really liked the IKEA Billy bookshelves. Like I know it's what everyone gets, but I just was like, I love the way they fit in the corner. I think they're gonna look so good in this room. And I shopped Facebook Marketplace like quite a bit to see if I could find either those or something similar. And I just couldn't really find what I wanted. It wasn't the right ones. And so I was like, I'm gonna buy the Billy bookshelves from IKEA. It took a total of like 6 months from the time we moved in till like actually buying these shelves. So I have been waiting for so long and just on the edge of my seat, like waiting. My books have been in a stack in the corner. And so having them out and displayed is just, oh, it's such a blessing, such a gift. I'm so happy about it. I also have seen a lot of people get the Billy bookshelves in white, and I do like those shelves. Like there's definitely nothing wrong with white. I think it's a nice like blank slate, especially if you have like a ton of books. It's not very distracting. For me, I knew that I wanted something different from the white. Nothing in this room is like a true white. It would have made the walls look like dirty because the walls are more of like a cream. So I wanted the shelf itself to have some character so that I could put other things on it and it would be cute and you would still like see the shelves, but there would be something to look at, you know, some kind of like or whatever. So that's why I went for like the brown, and it is the color, I think it's brown walnut, or like brown walnut effect or something like that, from IKEA. So it came with both of the outside shelves, the middle shelf, and then all 3 of the extenders for like the top to give it that extra shelf. And then it also comes with this little bracket that attaches the 3 of them together so they don't slide individually, so they can't get like separated. So yeah, it was super like simple to have all of it come together all in one go, and they look absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with them. So I'm gonna be doing a bookshelf tour very soon. I'll check back in when it's time for a bookshelf tour. It is the moment we've all been waiting for. It is the main event. It is time for the bookshelf tour. I'm very excited to take you guys through how I've decided to organize my shelves. They will probably change because knowing me, I will change them on the regular. So they are as they are right now. That may not be as they will continue to be. So I'm gonna take you guys through how we have them now. There might be another one coming in the future, especially once we get closer to Christmas time and winter time. I might rearrange some things, display some different things, but for now, this is how my shelves are set up, and I have some fun like fall decor on them and stuff now too. So let's head over to the shelves and I will talk you through what I have. Starting on this side, this entire shelf on this side is all fantasy. So starting at the top, I have all of my, or most of my paperback fantasies. So I have a couple of trilogies. I have all of my Carval books, Cruel Prince, Fire Endless, and River Enchanted. Oh, those are backwards. Also have a couple of my standalone fantasies, some dark fantasy. I have a Stephen King up there, as well as some cozy fantasy and YA fantasy as well. And then moving down to the next shelf, I have all of my Percy Jackson books here. I have the older copies of those books, and then I also have like the newer ones that all like fit together with the spines, and so I have all of those. And then I also have all my V.E. Schwab books up here as well. I'm a big fan of V.E. Schwab. I forgot to mention, all of the books on my shelves, aside from a couple of the books on the classics section, which we'll get to, all of them are books that I've read. I have a separate shelf that is just like a single coffee table shelf that is my TBR shelf. And so when I buy a book, it goes, if I haven't read it yet, it goes immediately on the TBR shelf, and then I don't get to actually put it on my big shelves until I've read it. This is something that I've like done for many years, and it basically just holds me accountable to making sure that my TBR doesn't get too big, and then also that I'm like actually reading the books that I buy and only buying books that I'm going to read, because if I don't read them, they don't get to go on the pretty shelves. So that has kind of always been how I've done that. And it's honestly really helpful, so I would recommend doing it that way. Okay, so moving down from Percy Jackson and V.E. Schwab, on the next shelf down here is my Harry Potter shelf. I have all of the original editions that I got when I was reading the series. A lot of these were thrifted when I was reading the series 15 years ago, so they are very old, very beat up. My copy of the Sorcerer's Stone is quite literally missing the front cover. Like, it's just the side and the back, and then it's the inside. I don't know what happened to the cover. I lost it a while back. And you'll notice that none of my editions match over here because, like I said, these were the copies that I read when I was a kid, and I got them however I could. Once I read the first book, I got so addicted and I had to get them as fast as possible, and I was like 9 years old, so my parents were just buying them for me, and a lot of the times it came from secondhand bookstores. And then on top of that, they're very well loved because I reread the series a lot growing up too. So these are very beat up, very well loved. They have lots of character. And then I have a couple of the other like additional Harry Potter things. Like I have The Cursed Child. Honestly didn't read it, so I guess this is one of the ones that is an exception to my rule of having read all the books on these shelves. But this one's kind of different because it's like a screenplay and it goes on the specific Harry Potter shelves. It's my rule, okay? I can make exceptions. It's my rule. I do it my way. I also have a cookbook, which is super fun. And then I have this set of like the textbooks. So I have Fantastic Beasts, Tales of Beetle and the Bard, and Quidditch for the Ages. And then I also have the house editions. So I have all the house editions of, well, I have the like variety house editions of the whole series. So it starts on Hufflepuff and it's Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw. I honestly kind of wish that it had started on a different one so that I could get 2 of the Slytherin ones, because the green is so stunning. I don't know if you can see it super well, but it's really, really pretty. And I really like the design on it. But yeah, I love, love, love my house copies of these books. They are amazing. They've also never been like touched to actually read because I am so scared to destroy them because they are like my favorite thing on my shelves. Okay, moving down to the shelf here, I have my hardback fantasies and then my like tall paperback fantasies. So for the tall paperbacks, I have the first 2 books of the Mistborn series. I'm currently reading the 3rd book, so that hasn't gotten put on here just yet, but it will soon. I'm getting close. And then I also have the Blighted Stars, or the Devoured Worlds trilogy, which is a sci-fi. I do mix fantasy and sci-fi because I don't read a ton of sci-fi. So the sci-fi just kind of get like intermixed with the fantasies. And then I have all of the fantasy books that I have in hardback. I have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. I have the Ballad of Never After series. I actually only have 2 out of 3 of these. The first book I like read on Kindle or something, and so I never actually bought it. So if anyone wants to send me the hard copy of the first book of that series, hey, I'm not gonna stop you. I also have all 3 books that are out in the Fourth Wing series. I have this one, which I think is so cool. This is the games Gods Play, and the sprayed edges on this are just so cool. And this one is actually, like, the inside is also super cool. This one's actually a signed copy as well, which is super fun, super cool. My thing with sprayed edges is that I will only face them out if there's actually a design on the sprayed edge. I don't like displaying a sprayed edge that's just a solid color, but if there's like a cool design on the back, I will flip it backwards so you can see it. So like my Onyx Storm copy was like I pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble, so it has like the dragons on the outside, and then the same with like the games Gods Play has like the cool like design. So I'll display those, but if it's just a color, I usually don't like flip that around because I don't love that look. I like when it has like a little bit of flair, you know. I also have my book nook over here, which I'm obsessed with. I am really terrible at like little tiny things that I have to do with my hands. So my mom actually built this for me. She gave it to me for Christmas, and at first when I opened it, I saw like just the box and I was like, oh, like thanks, this is so cool. Like thinking in my brain like, oh, I'm gonna have to build this thing and it's gonna be so stressful, I'm gonna crash out. But then she was like, wait, there's more. And she like brought out this like covered thing, and it was like the whole thing already built for me. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. This is actually the best thing ever. So yes, I love my little book nook. And then below this, I have my Tolkien shelf. So it has The Lord of the Rings. It has also an additional copy of The Hobbit. I thrifted this one. I just thought it was so like cool because it looked like an original copy. I don't know if it actually is, but it does look like it. I guess I could find out, but I don't know. I thought it was so cool with like the yellowed pages and stuff. So I have that, and then I have a couple of just like fun little like the Encyclopedia of Tolkien, the Heroes of Tolkien, like those little things. And then I also have the Silmarillion, which I guess this is another exception to my reading rule because I haven't read the Silmarillion. I'm finding a lot of exceptions to my rule, but you know what? It's a general rule, okay? Same with the Children of Hurin? Question mark? I haven't read this one either. But you know what? Look, it's on the themed shelf. It's on the Tolkien shelf. I think that deserves another exception. It's basically the same exception. I just used it in multiple places, so we're counting it. Next, below my Tolkien shelf, that moves us into my Christian fiction shelf. There's some of it that is fantasy and sci-fi, and some that is just like historical fiction or like literary fiction, but that shelf is entirely Christian fiction. I have a series that I read when I was a kid on there. I have The Shack. I have a couple of Francine Rivers books, a Max Lucado book. So just a couple of like fun little Christian fiction books that I've picked up over the years. Okay, I'm gonna do this side of the shelf next because I want to save the middle for last because it's my favorite. So on this side of the shelf, this is all straight fiction. So starting at the top, I have my dystopians. I am missing my Hunger Games and ballad copies. I have those, I own those books, but I lent them out. So I'll be getting them back like pretty soon, and then those will go up there once I have them back. And then that moves down into this shelf, which has young adult fiction as well as historical fiction and literary fiction. I do have all of my Kristen Hanna books on here. I have my John Green books on here. A couple of like random little ones. I have a Frederick Bachman. I did mix hardcovers with paperbacks on the shelves because I was going more with like genres versus like on my fantasy side, it's all fantasy. So I was splitting between hardback and paperback, if that makes sense. Moving down one more, this is my romance shelf. All of these are considered romance technically, although I would argue that some of them are more literary fiction, like the Magnolia Park series, and some of Emily Henry's books can be considered more literary fiction. So there's definitely some, like when you get into the subgenres, it just gets so like messy when it comes to trying to sort by genre. So I just did the best that I could and went with like vibes, you know? I'm moving down one more. This is all of my mysteries, thrillers, and dark fiction. So I say like dark fiction because I have my Donna Tartt books on this shelf because they fit the vibe better with like mystery thriller type things, but they're not really mystery thrillers. They are more like literary fiction. They're just like more dark, like Secret Histories, Dark Academia. That one's kind of a mystery, but like The Goldfinch is like very much just a literary fiction, but it has that like darker vibe. So this one's a little more based on vibe, but I have all of my Inheritance Games books. I have the first book in the Naturals. I haven't read any of the other ones, so this is the only one I own. And then I have some thrillers. I have some dark academia and some just general like mystery on here as well. Moving down one more, this is where I'm keeping my record player right now. Unfortunately, I can't really use it because the shelf isn't like deep enough for me to use it here, so I would have to move it if I did want to use it, but I just thought it looked really cute. And I have a few different records that I will just kind of swap out based on the season. So right now I have Evermore out. And then underneath is some it's all of my nonfiction and then some of my Christian nonfiction. I have some of my other Christian nonfiction like somewhere else in the house. But there's like a handful of like random ones in there. And then also just all of my other like nonfiction. We are moving on to my most favorite section of these shelves, which is my classics section. I generally read mostly fantasy, as you can tell, but I generally am reading more in the fantasy, romance, literary fiction like genres. However, I always come back to my classics. I love, love, love my classics. I love this section. I think it looks so pretty. They are by far my prettiest books are like the classics that I own, and some of my favorite books are classics. So I have a really fun display that I just am so obsessed with. So up at the top, this is not a classic. This is just obviously decoration. This was like honestly a book that my mom thrifted for like $3, but this is another one of her little crafts. Thank you, Mom, for crafting so much. Shout out, Mom, for crafting so much so that I could have cute things on my shelves. Moving on down, I have these editions. I don't even know actually what they are specifically, like what Chiltern, I guess. I don't really know. Barnes & Noble sells them though, and I just think they're so stunning. And I have Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, which I love both of those. Wuthering Heights is probably my favorite classic. It might even be like it's an all-time favorite book for sure. Down here is my like Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. I've had this one for a really long time. This one was actually the first like pretty like book, I guess, that I ever got. It was gifted to me for Christmas one year in high school as I was getting really into reading and like decorating with books. There is so many really pretty illustrations in it, and I just think like the gold is so pretty on the outside, and it's like the gold foiling pages, which I love. Moving down here, these are like other just special editions of classics. I have Les Mis, Little Women, they have like the complete Jane Austen, Complete Fairy Tales, Wizard of Oz, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Fun fact, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was my favorite book when I was like 8 years old, which is crazy because I've tried to read it as an adult and I'm like, how did I comprehend this when I was 8? Like, this is really hard to understand. It's like, oh, I had one of those like classics for kids books where it is extremely abridged and very dumbed down for children to read. So I've never actually read the full version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I've only read the children's abridged version, but anyways, I digress. Moving down, I have some of my Penguin classics, these like soft hardcover books of Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Great Expectations, The Woman in White, A Christmas Carol. Also have The Princess Bride. I love, love, love this special edition. I think it's the 25th anniversary edition, but it's just absolutely stunning. Like, it is so, so pretty. All the little details are just so pretty. I like grew up on this movie, and so having this special edition of the book is just, I love it. It blends in like so well with these shelves, which is maybe good, maybe bad, not really sure. Then down there I have all of my paperbacks of the classics, and then all the way at the bottom I have some like very, very old editions of some of the classics that my grandmother actually like passed down to me. That was a lot. Thanks for, I don't know, hanging out with me, I guess, helping me motivate myself to get my shelves done and get everything put up on them. This was so much fun just to get to do, and I am just so grateful. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. It means a ton. I am looking forward to so many cozy vlogs and just like cozy times in general, reading in front of these shelves. I'm so obsessed with them. I love them so much. So thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content, and I will see you again soon with another new video. Bye.